I came on a little early to check my microphone. Please put in the comments a 1 if you can hear me. It's not sounding echoey. It's just you can hear me okay. Please put it in the comments. Can everybody hear me okay? I've got these microphones and I was noticing on the last live stream it didn't sound right. If it doesn't sound where you can hear me really well, you need to let me know. Put a 1 in the comment if it's good. I'm waiting. Can y'all hear me okay? Does it sound echoey or anything? Does it sound like you can hear me okay? Loud and clear. Thank you, Fancy Nancy. Hello, Leanne Forsberg, Canyon Jam, Jet Set JP, Mr. M. We might have some people hopping on, y'all, that don't really belong here. Anyway, folks, I posted on the community wall somewhat of a fork in the road type of scenario. I'm sure y'all know all about when you get to those forks in the road. It's usually not just you go one direction or another. There's all these forks and you're trying to figure out which way to go. I appreciate everyone that voted on that. I'm going to leave it open for another 24 hours just to make sure you know and I know it's 20 or 30 people on here. So I absolutely want to make sure that anyone that I consider a Ray, maybe you don't consider yourself a Ray, gets a say in all this. Because, folks, this is an open channel. We are in a world inside of a world. And for 6 years now, we've developed somewhat of a very close friendship. In my view, I feel it, I know it. I've had letters from a lot of y'all that's come to the P.O. box. I've had people like Canyon Jam that has given us chances to laugh and enjoy things, and all of the wonderful memories, all the things y'all have taught me, all the things we've learned together. Folks, I want to give back. I want to get a little justice through understanding. All I have to share is myself, just as you share yourself with me, you being the only you're ever going to be. Have you ever wrote yourself a letter and just got brutally honest with yourself? Well, the reason I bring this up to you is because whenever I get to these forks in the road, I go back and I read a letter that I wrote myself a few years back just to humble me, just to remind me, because I was brutally honest with myself. And I want to share that letter with you today. And I challenge you to write yourself a letter and get brutally honest. It's not about those thoughts in your head all the time. Put them down on paper. But I want to share this. This is very personal, intimate, but I want to share it with you so you can get a good grasp of where OKJ is when it comes to my humility. The fact that I am at a fork in the road, that I do care what all of y'all want to do on our channel, okay? Dear KJ, I'm writing you this letter today because I needed to talk to you about what has been disappointing and frustrating about you. I know that you have had a hard road, and I know that you are mostly to blame for it. The reason I say this is because it has all come down to your choices throughout your past and present life. I understand that there were times when others hurt you, but for the most part, it can mostly be traced back to decisions you have made. Although you didn't know what the consequences were going to be, I'm disappointed that you didn't stop to really think through some of the choices you were making. And perhaps your choices might have been different, or you might have not made those choices in the first place. You just did not stop to think about where God wanted you to go. And the past has a way of creating lifelong damage that has to be attended to and healed. It frustrates me that the residual damage is still there and that you cannot seem to let yourself off the hook, or at least come to some resolution about it. So much has been lived, and some of it was good, but a lot of it was bad. And it's disappointing that the guilt still dictates how you view yourself. What has happened is over, and yet you still seem to have a hard time stripping away the old negative self-image and becoming honest and realistic. With all this said, I am pleased that you are aware of all of this. There was a time not so long ago where you just threw up your hands and didn't have a clue where you have been wrong, what you were living. And so I guess it comes down to what you are going to do about all this awareness. I know you want to let go of the things you have no control over, and I know you just want to be a better Christian, a better mother, and a better wife. How many times in your past that you just didn't give a flip? That you just lived in your own self-destructive thinking and actions? Today, I'm pleased that you have made a real shift in a positive way because you have changed and because you want to continue to heal and grow, and most importantly, let go of unhealthy bad habits and guilt and regret. I'm pleased with the fact that in your past, you never wanted to give up. Your willingness is so important, and I see that you are willing. So it's all about working on all of this, and I'm very pleased that you're seeking professional help. All of this goes back to how you're viewing yourself and your life, and it has a great effect on your relationships. So it seems you're going to have to work on yourself, because whatever mistakes you have made, or even the ones you make today or tomorrow, will continue to have an effect on you down the road. You cannot change others, but you can change the negativity in yourself and accept yourself for who you were, who you are, and who you will become. You have to make a conscious decision to continue to move forward in your life in right and healthy ways. Jesus is the one and true healer of yourself, and having that as the foundation, you will have good days and some bad days, but whatever happens and whatever pain you have on the journey of your life, put Him first, the best that you can, and don't beat yourself up when you fail to do this, because being aware of your failures to God is a blessing in and of itself if true change can come from it. Sincerely with love, KJ. And I want y'all to know that every so often I read that letter that I wrote myself several years back. It reminds me of the struggles and all of the things that I've been through. It doesn't make me wallow in it. It doesn't make me think, that I've, somehow when it comes to change, it's got to be some big, miraculous stuff, just little tiny steps along the way. Fancy Nancy says, I'm hardest on myself. Hello, Ramona. Hi, Sam Willow. Hi, Shemal. Hello, Donna says she should have been a detective. How are you? So we're here to discuss and chat. It's really all up to y'all what you see in us moving forward. And I think that we can all agree that we all want a little justice through understanding. Does that mean that we stay in the crime genre community? Well, that's probably the least percentage, but there are people that have voted for that. Some people have voted that we leave the crime genre, put it in our rearview mirror and go in a different direction. But for the most part, so far in the poll on the community wall, People just want to continue doing what we're doing. And you know what? Most of the time, I don't even know what that is. You know what I mean? It's like we talk about these trials, we talk about these judicial cases and things. We jump from one subject to the other. Sometimes I just throw something in there, like I'm cooking something or I'm at the lake or something like that. It's just my life that I'm sharing. And I also want to learn more. I want to be more critically thinking. Being the old country girl that I am, even though I am college educated, I still have to rely heavily on my common sense. But there are linear factual things that OKJ has learned throughout all this time together on this channel, not only of these criminal cases, but of things that you've shared with me that I've learned from you. Kathy Benedero says that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Thank you, Just Me. You are the content. All of you are. And I don't think there's a single person who is a regular on here can say that I haven't done everything I know how to do to make sure your voices are heard on here. It means a lot to me. I try to honor and respect all of y'all the best I know how to do. Sometimes a lot of times I drop the ball. My sound ain't right. I don't have graphics. It's just you and me here. We're on this cell phone here. This is what we're doing here. And y'all have seen me through a lot. I mean, how many years have we talked about, say, for instance, Andrew's or CJ's or even Quinn's birthdays or things of that sort? Wayne's birthday or the fish fry or going to the lake and stuff. It seems like the years just click by so quickly, don't it? But knowing the demographic on this channel, mostly women and older women, I couldn't feel more pride and blessed that I have such wisdom on here. We also, over time, have learned that as this channel has went forward, and remember, it's always been about 20 or 30 people, that we've received some subscribers for whatever reason they're here. Then we have people hop on here just to talk shit, talk about anything or be disrespectful to the people on this channel. I want to thank the mods. Y'all don't have to do it, and you do it. You step up and try to help when you can. And I want you to know that you're not just doing it for OKJ. You're doing it for everyone on here, because my hope is that when we meet here on this channel, that we have a good experience, that we can all, it's peaceful, it's fun, or it's at least not being trolled half to death. And so I just want y'all to know that anyone that's helped on here, y'all, it just means everything to me. Kenya Jam says, love the skits as well, laugh so hard every time. And I won't stop doing it. There's a theatrical side to OKJ, for sure. The reason that I try to do all these different things is because everybody's so unique. And so through their own eyes, they take in their communication differently. So I try to hit as much different areas of communication as I can, if that makes sense at all. I want everyone to feel like they're being understood themselves and that they can understand me. Remember what I said a long time ago, and I've said it many times. The biggest lesson I learned is I can't assume that other people understand me or that I understand them. It really is something that helps me it takes the pressure off, and it just lets me know how unique and wonderful all of you are. Jet Set JP says, laughed, cried, been entertained, had so much to think about, always something different. And I appreciate that, Jet Set JP. It's y'all's feedback that it moves me forward. If I didn't think that there were people that were actually being sincere with me, y'all, I'd shut it down. I really would, because it ain't about how many people's on here. If there's only 2 people, the whole live stream, I'm fine with it, as long as we're together. As long as we can be sincere to one another in this world inside of a world, because you and I both know a lot of times on social media, you feel like you're out there and that no one really knows you. And I want people to feel like they really know me and that I know them, because that's really what it's all about, is connection and love. And I mean LOVE, love. And so, of course, I'm not always the best at showing that and all that, but I am so happy that y'all give me a pass and help me to, move forward to get a little justice through understanding. Y'all, I believe that. That's not a catchphrase. It's something that I have anchored to. Justice through understanding means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And some people don't think of nothing at all, that it's nothing at all. And that's fine. But the ones that have their own views about justice and how they understand not only the judicial system, crime, victims, all of these things, it really does. It helps you to understand the life that you're in yourself, because you can apply it. When I put on the community wall, would y'all want to continue covering criminal cases through application about that we can apply toward life? Maybe that means a million different things to a lot of y'all. Maybe it means something totally different than what I'm thinking it is. But we can do it together, and we can always, always be honorable and respectful to one another, because y'all, we don't get that much in this life at all. Hi, Moonlight View. Oh, thank you, She-Mal. And tell He-Mal I said hello. Being from Georgia and living in Wyoming, I need to hear someone who sounds like me every once in a while. Are you serious? NF Mom? Who in the hell? I don't know who the hell. Who are you talking about? Am I old country girl or what? I don't even know how I sound. I just sound like myself, just as you sound like you, but I get it. I definitely do. Some people are like, damn, girl, don't you know how to do the English language? Can't it roll off the tongue like it's supposed to? It just never does. Some certain words just doesn't help for me to, I don't know. I mean, I know that I did well in English, and I'm a pretty damn good writer, I think. Folks, I've been working on a book for some time. I haven't titled it or anything, but I've been working for several years. Even before I got on social media, I'm writing a book. And so I'm absolutely excited about that. And I'm not willing to tell everybody what it's about, because if it doesn't get finished and everybody's like, where is it, KJ? Where is it? I don't want to set myself up for failure. Just Me says, I appreciate different accents. And I appreciate different outlooks. And I think I've always tried to express to everyone that just because I see things a certain way doesn't mean that if anyone sees it totally different, that somehow there's a right and wrong type of thing in there. Because it's not. It just is, it highlights how everyone sees through their own lens, and how that, we just do what we do. Well, thank you, Moonlight View. So I'm waiting. I want to hear what y'all think about moving forward now that Corey Richins her ass has been nailed to the wall, guilty on all counts. And y'all know we didn't even delve deeply into that. I just kind of covered it, which was one of the other ones on the community wall, where I said, follow criminal cases on the fly, and that basically meant not delve too deeply. Just go, as they come, if I guess court TV, Law and Crime or something like that. If people just wanted me to, comment on it or get in depth in it. I need y'all to help me, because the reason I ask this is if you'll help me and you'll tell me what you think we should do on this channel, and I feel like we can come to a consensus, then I can feel more confident that people are here because I wanted them to be able to have their way on here, basically. I want to do what everybody wants to do. It isn't about what OKJ's doing, and you better just do what OKJ says. Because y'all, the bottom line is from day one, it's always been about all of us. It's never just been about OKJ. I've gotten my ideas from y'all. I've gotten the content. That's why I always put on there for content, because y'all are the content. That's what's original on any social media platform, that any of y'all would be able to come on here and help me get through it. That's the beautiful thing. It's critical thinking coming from you, coming from me. We put it all together and we talk about it. We chat about it. Research, analysis, and you, folks. I knew she was guilty, but they came back earlier than I thought. I'm telling you, I put on the community wall, oh, they'll be back tomorrow. I just had no idea they were going to come back in little over 3 hours. That was absolutely, and that closing argument, wow, that was a good one from Bloodworth there. He covered it. And I liked his rebuttal as well. But I will say this, even the defense, Miss Lewis there, she did a great defensive closing there. And the defense was robust for Corey Richins. And that's what we all want. We want good attorneys where she gets her due process. And there is no ineffective assistance of counsel or anything like that. She got it. She absolutely got good defense attorneys. Why they didn't put on a defense? They had their reasons. And I guess we could all, speculate. I needed a break from murder trials, and today I'm watching the African trial. He wrote a song called Lemon Pound Cake. The sheriff is suing him. Comical. Interesting. Is it a civil case? Is that what you're talking about? Just Me says Corey Richins had nothing to work with. Sam Willow says, I'm go with the flow type. Go with the flow. Girl, you are really good with your comments. You've helped this channel a lot with the things that you've said. You've helped jiggle things in this little itty bitty brain of mine. You've been such a big help. And I never wanted to put the pressure on you. And I don't want to put the pressure on you now because I'm telling you the truth about how I feel. I just think you're a really, really insightful person, and all of you are. And I appreciate all of you. Yeah, BB Lady 56 says the defense did a good job. I think they did, honestly. I'm still looking in the comments, though, for where are we going, y'all? What do y'all want to do? Which criminal cases? Where are we going? If y'all leave it in my lap, I've got 2 choices that we could talk about. But I'm going to wait a few minutes because I really want to hear from all of y'all. And I'm not trying to put y'all on the spot about this, but you knew just from the title that we were going to talk about this. And maybe you can't think of anything now, but after this live stream, go back and put the comments in there for me, or go to the community wall and go below that poll. And if something comes to your mind, talk to me about it. Let me know. It means, I read all of y'all's comments. Yeah, Fancy Nancy. Corey's defense did seem to call for a mistrial almost daily. Now, Donna wants to get real out there with this Charlie Kirk thing. Well, you know, Donna, I'm trying to look at criminal cases where, how do I put this? That I can use application toward our life, or, well, at least my life and how I see life. This situation has a lot of politics in it. There's a lot of very valid things from different sides, if you want to say sides of all of this. And to follow this trial, I think it's a federal trial, right? First of all, we wouldn't get to see it. We'd only hear news articles of it. It's important, and I think maybe that's why you brought it up. It is an important case. Anyone who's assassinated, no matter who they are, for whatever reason they stand for, I mean, to be assassinated like that, that's a terrible, terrible thing. But then you'd almost have to go and say, okay, what about the dude who killed the CEO of that health company? What about him? Or how about this other dude who tried to, who just got sentenced, basically, which is past now, who tried to take out Trump at the golf course, or, those types of criminal cases, a lot of them are federal. And I've tried to cover different things about the difference between federal and state. Many of y'all already know these things, but this is information that I've learned that I'm trying to share just in case somebody does want to learn something. And I tried to do that with what, y'all? This whole situation with immigration, custom enforcement. I tried explaining that, and Don Lemon, which I will not give up on that. But again, if he decides to take it to trial, we won't get to see it. We'll just hear news headlines about it because they don't allow cameras in the courtroom. And besides that, y'all know that he's going to have to take a plea deal, in my opinion, because the bottom line is if he takes it to trial, remember how much of a success rate federal courts have? 94% success rate on prosecuting people. The feds do not charge people unless they know they got the goods, and they slam the hammer down on them. So I won't give up on the Don Lemon thing because I do firmly believe in terms of my life, even though I fail as a Christian and as a believer in God, the bottom line is that's important to me. So I'll share that as it develops. Of course, the media is also, they're trying to make it look like he's going to get out of trouble and all this other stuff. But Canyon Jam says, absolute freedom, charting your own course. Do you have anything zany going on in your own township? Well, Canyon Jam, maybe that's a question for everyone on here. And if everybody wants to comment on that, something zany going on in their town, I'll be glad to read it out loud. But as far as OKJ's concerned, I haven't given up on Angelia Solomon. What's interesting is she was supposed to have a review hearing on the 13th, and according to the Williamson County courts, it doesn't even show that there's been a hearing. It was supposed to be on the 13th at 9 a.m. There's been no disposition of it whatsoever. It doesn't even show they had the hearing. And so I'm just curious to know if they're still in plea negotiations or something, but it was listed on the docket that they were going to have that plea hearing on the 13th, and then it never happened. It shows disposition of it, nothing. And it shows the charges, the fees, and everything else that she's, the charges of solicitation to commit murder and everything. But no news organization, the Tennessean, or anyone else for that matter, whether it's Court TV, whether it's any of these others that have been talking about Angelia Solomon in the past, none of them has updated anyone because there's nothing to update. So I'm just assuming, since there is no conclusion or disposition of the case and it's still open, it's showing it's still open, along with the other case of the charges of her stealing from a nonprofit, that somehow they are in plea agreements or something to that, negotiations, and I just keep checking it because I do want a conclusion to it. And there's a little part of me that's saying, are they trying to keep people from really blowing this up about Angelia Solomon, and that maybe they're trying to get the media to back off or something like that? Well, I'll tell you, if there's a reporter, a journalist from the Tennessean reporting on it, and then you hear nothing else, I mean, one has to ask, because they always do updates at some point. So the bottom line is March the 13th was the review hearing, and it doesn't show that it ever happened. It's showing that it was scheduled, and then under disposition, nothing at all. So I don't know where it's going. But I promise you this, there's going to be some answer. And when it does happen, OKJ is absolutely going to cover it, which, by the way, this is the part everybody's going to go, oh, this is boring as hell, KJ. There's a case that was put in the court system of Angelia Solomon against her ex-husband, Aaron Solomon, where they basically told her, as much as she had filed nonsense crap against him since his divorce, that they were not going to allow her to file anything else on Aaron Solomon. And it went to an appeals court because she was saying, I should be able to file what I want, yada, yada, yada. And it came through. So I do want to cover the legal minutia of that. And I think you'll find that interesting. And we will get to that, where the Tennessee Supreme Court said no more Angelia Solomon. These frivolous, filing a lawsuit, doing all these things over, and all these allegations over and over and over again over the years. It's got to stop, and so that's going to be interesting. Yes, just me, you're right. Parental alienation, if I remember right. And part of what my opinion is, just me, is we talked about parental alienation, right? It was several live streams back. Remember, manipulation, alienation, simulation. Remember, she's charged with simulating a document, which basically is i.e. forgery. We went through the Asians, OKJ tried to be snazzy about it. But it is about that, in that she continues, or did, through the court systems, to hurl these accusations against Aaron Solomon. Also, there is still an open case that Angelia Solomon has on appeal, as I look on the records, where it's torts. And you know what that is? That's suing him for defamation, where she said he was a molester and all this other stuff. That's still an open case, and it's on appeal right now. Now, how long does an appeal last? I don't know. Maybe the appeals court's like, well, as long as we don't do anything about this, nothing's going to get done, because, appeals courts don't have to do anything timely in any state, whether it's Tennessee or any of these damn states. The United States Supreme Court doesn't even have to even hear anything that's been filed with them. They can just say nope and not even look at it. They don't even have to say no. They just don't. And, they just don't do it. The young man is mentally ill in the Kirk case. He didn't even understand his own viewpoint. I can't imagine there's going to be much of a defense. Well, Sam Willow, again, this goes back to what we've seen it demonstrated time and time again in these cases, that people have these mental health issues. Some of them get out of the death penalty. You know what I'm saying? And if he is proven to have any mental illness, it isn't that he ain't going to get life without parole, because, he did it. Okay, he did it. It's whether or not he's going to get the death penalty or not. They're seeking the death penalty. And by the way, that dude here that we talked about a while back, forgot his name, but I'll get with it, y'all, who murdered this woman, her daughter, and 2 other people, 4 murders over there near Memphis, Tennessee. What was his name? Oh gosh, I can't think of his name. Austin Drummond. That's it. Austin Drummond. We're gonna continue to follow that. Nothing's really happening right now. He's gonna have his ass nailed to the wall about it. I think this has everything to do with contraband coming into that prison that he was in. These people might have done something that he had to prove himself or something. These are just theories. I want to continue to look at that. Remember, the baby was left in the carrier in somebody's front yard? At least he didn't kill the baby, right? It won't be too long. Someone is going to do something really messed up and mind-blowing, and we'll have something to talk about. Well, aren't we talking about something right now, NF Mom? Huh? Does it have to be, just... We're here talking, just you and I and everyone else. We're chatting. But okay, so let's just go ahead and go with that, NF Mom. Salt Lake City. Why is it that these Idaho, Utah, all these, it's weird, isn't it? Jennifer Gledhill. Y'all, I ain't giving up on this. The Utah woman accused of killing her husband, Utah National Guardsman Matthew Johnson, was in court for an evidentiary hearing Tuesday morning, which was a couple of weeks back, y'all, when it was postponed due to new evidence. Gledhill, 42, was arrested in October of 2024 for the alleged murder of her husband, despite being originally scheduled for December 2025. The hearing has been pushed back to March of 2026, right? The judge denied Gledhill's bail request just over a year ago. Now, the case first started with the Reserve and the Guard investigating when Johnson was last seen in September of 2024. The day after Gledhill was arrested, law enforcement continued the search for Johnson's body. The investigation led to the wetlands surrounding the Farmington Bay area as officials searched for a shallow grave. In Davis County, police uncovered a mattress, pillow, and blood-stained carpet, all belonging to the couple's home. Gledhill's representation withdrew their original motion to limit audio recordings that the prosecution could use. Now stop. When they met last, now her representation, they had a motion saying, we want to limit audio recordings. Now I wonder what those are about. What was Jennifer Gledhill saying? We're going to find out eventually. The judge spoke to Gledhill directly and asked if she understood her request for withdrawing the motion. In other words, we're going to hear those recordings. The audio recordings could be in the trial, to which she agreed. They can request a case-by-case situation. Now, the state agreed to let the defense have more time until March the 20th, y'all, okay, to collect evidence and file a responding motion before starting what, y'all? An evidentiary hearing. If this goes the way I'm hoping it'll go, we will get into, it's somewhat like a preliminary hearing, but it's evidentiary. It's talking about the evidence that the state wants to put in. The defense might have some, or vice versa. And the defense said this was based on prior concerns and new information. The judge had evidence ahead of the hearing that he returned to the state. A pretrial conference has been scheduled for April 10th at 1 p.m. While the judge was concerned it would be too close to what, y'all? Not an evidentiary hearing, because that one's going to be on March 20th, but the trial Attorneys agreed a later scheduling close to the start of the trial would not be problematic. So that's an update on Jennifer Gledhill. And the reason that I want to cover that one and get into it as much as I can is because this woman told her lover that her husband was almost like he wasn't human. And that kind of dovetails into things that, doesn't that sound reminiscent of somebody? Doesn't it sound like Corey Richens and her it comments and the things she said to her lover? And then you go further than that, Lori Hooker Daybell, dehumanizing. These people dehumanize, and I feel like this is a good opportunity for us to get in there and get a little justice through understanding, using application to learn about life and everything else that perhaps we didn't know or something that we could share with others. But if that ain't enough for y'all, there's another thing I want to talk to y'all about. And this is something that's really piqued my interest. And I know this is going to move forward. I just don't know how long it's going to take, but we'll get to it eventually. And when we do, you'll be like, yeah, KJ, remember we were talking about what we were going to do, where the direction of this channel was going. And you said we were going to do this, just as I told y'all a while back that we were going to cover Jennifer Gledhill. Remember that? On September 19th of 2024, Letcher County Sheriff Sean Mickey Steins shot and killed District Judge Kevin Mullins inside his chambers at a courthouse in Whitesburg, Kentucky. The incident shocked the small Appalachian community as the two men were longtime colleagues and acquaintances. You can look on YouTube. They're going to blur it, but they're going to show you this sheriff in the judge's chambers blowing him away as he cowers in the corner, okay? And everybody just come out of left field for a lot of people. Now the incident, these are the key details of it. Following an argument in his chambers, Steins allegedly shot Mullins multiple times, continuing to fire after the judge fell to the floor. Steins immediately surrendered to authorities after the shooting. Now, what was the motive? The exact motive remains under investigation, but reports emerged regarding a possible sex for favors scandal involving the courthouse, which the judge was allegedly linked to. Now, the phone records, evidence indicated that in the moments before the shooting, Steins, the Sheriff Steins there, used Judge Mullins' phone to call his own teenage daughter. The legal proceedings, Steins, who resigned as sheriff, was indicted on a first-degree murder charge and has pleaded not guilty. Now, the defense's strategy in all this, y'all, defense attorneys have suggested that Steins was suffering from an extreme emotional disturbance, y'all. This is what the defense is saying, and have indicated plans to pursue an insanity defense, with some reports noting Steins claimed to have lacked the capacity to intend the shooting. Y'all, why is it? Why is it to these people? Insanity. Oh, well, we'll just find out. But I'm telling you, y'all, these people don't want to take responsibility for their own shit. They just don't. I don't give a damn. I mean, how much pressure have you ever been under? Anxiety, stress, fear, all these things. Are you out here shooting people? Hell no, and neither is OKJ. My damn high blood pressure goes through the damn roof. I get mad all the damn time, but I ain't out here trying to kill somebody. It's ridiculous. Emotional disturbance. I deal with that shit at least a few times a week, but I ain't out here killing somebody. It's screaming cover up to me, says Just Me. Who are they protecting? All right, well, let's get to that then, Just Me. Here's the context before any of this other shit happened. Judge Mullins, age 54, was known for promoting substance abuse treatment for individuals in the justice system. Steins, 43, was the sheriff who had recently been involved in a deposition for a civil lawsuit involving a former deputy, Deputy Ben Fields, who was accused of coercing women into sexual acts in the judge's chamber, the same chamber that Steins blew that judge away. Now, to me, if they're going for an insanity defense, are they ready? Are they ready to say, well, Sheriff Steins knew that the judge and them were having sex with these women in his chambers and stuff, knew that the deputy was doing this, because the deputy got convicted of it, y'all. Now, the community impact around there, this was a small town, just like a lot of y'all that live in small towns. You know people, you know who the civil servants are and all this and that. The shooting severely impacted the small Kentucky town where the sheriff and judge had worked closely together for years. And I really want it to come out. And the prosecution, is going to absolutely get to the bottom. They're going to find out what this all really was about. It's not just some kind of theory. They're going to have proof behind the pudding. Now, Carrie Richards says the Daybell trial was like no other. I didn't think that I could follow through with it. Honestly, I didn't know if I wanted to. However, I will say that, KJ, you got me through it. Well, Carrie Richards, you got me through it. All of y'all got me through it. I had never done anything like that in my life in terms of in-depth. I mean, every little thing we went over, didn't we? I mean, we went through it with a fine-tooth crime comb, We sure did, and I don't know that I could ever do that again, because that case really was the reason that I felt led to get online in the first place. It was something that I believe it was the Holy Spirit. Y'all can laugh all you want. That got me on there. Although I definitely wasn't representing like I should, the bottom line is I felt like that case really was something that really, really, it got to my heart very deep down. Is the only way I know how to say it. And I don't think any case could ever even go there. It answered a lot of life questions for OKJ through application and really seeing, just looking straight at the evil, diabolical nature. And we've seen all kind of murderers in the crime genre community and the cold-blooded shit that they do. This was so far beyond evil. It was absolutely disgusting. It was a word I can't even describe, y'all. Just Me says we support each other and crush you. Oh, thank you, Fancy Nancy. I appreciate that. So yes, Sheriff Sean Mickey Steins blows away a judge. We're going to get into that. We'll also, I'm just dead set on Jennifer Gledhill. I've been saying that a while back. I was like, where are we going from here? What are we doing? And of course, some of y'all, if you haven't figured it out by now, Nancy Guthrie. I mean, I don't even click on the articles anymore, because unless they tell me they found her, it's just these news organizations, they give these titles like, oh, some new information, and it never is. And your brain hurts when they keep regurgitating the same shit or saying it differently just so they can continue to put these damn news articles out here. Ain't nobody learning shit. It's just a new narrative, a new plot line. The day that I could say they found Nancy Guthrie, we will absolutely go there. But I am not taking a moment of my time with these damn clickbait journalists who want to come out here, make you think, oh, there's a break in the case, and then you click on it and nothing's changed whatsoever. It's a splitting headache. I have all the heart and compassion and want and prayer that Nancy Guthrie is found. It is something important not only to me, but to everyone in this country. I get it. But I'm not going down that road of going through every damn news article. I'm not. I can tell you this right now. They should have brought the FBI in quicker. This sheriff has got an ego that's shitting out of his ass like a big turd. I think he dropped the ball on several things from the get-go. And I think I just don't feel good about the sheriff at all, y'all. I'm sorry. And I get it. I'm all for law enforcement. I know they got a tough job. But damn, we're in the United States of America and the FBI is here now and we can't find Nancy Guthrie? We can't find her? We can't at least come up with a conclusion? We can't get the perpetrator? And yet we could take a missile over there in another country and shove it up somebody's ass in a cave in the middle of a freaking desert. I mean, they got damn scopes where they could see someone smoking a cigarette from 100 miles away and blow them away. And we can't find a sweet, beautiful Nancy Guthrie. I mean, we can't do it. It's ridiculous. And I'll tell you something else. I'm not convinced. I don't give a damn what the news articles say or the sheriff says that the son-in-law is not involved. I think that's a good theory. Him and his friends or somebody. And who knows, y'all? Who knows? They say, well, we got evidence that the garage door shut. She went to bed that night and all that. Well, who knows? I mean, there was blood out on the front porch, bringing her in the house. All that stuff. Do they have it where her pacemaker's showing she's alive up to that moment and then it disconnects? They're telling us some things, but they're not telling us enough for us to draw any conclusions whatsoever. Just me's correct. It's just a distraction. It's bullshit, says Fancy Mancy. I check the headlines every day to see if there's an update in Nancy's case, but I still have not changed my mind from the beginning of who I think is behind it. All I'm saying, y'all, is the only other possible thing for me is that somebody bum rushed this woman in the middle of the night, broke in, and why would they take her? Why don't they just take her the money or take her somewhere and do they have evidence that they took her to an ATM? Why take a little old lady out of her house if all they're trying to do is rob her? Because I don't think that ransom shit ever happened. I think that was other people. I think it's other people that tried to do that. I mean, they got one guy who's already been arrested who's going to have to go to a trial on that or a plea agreement through the federal government there when he tried to cash in on it. I don't see nothing else that shows anything. Does TMZ have anyone continuing to ask for a ransom? No. Because everybody knows that these people, these sick, twisted SOBs, want to try today and do something like that. They want to lie and say they have or send me some crypto or whatever. Give me a break. Carrie Richards says, I don't know why we haven't cracked this case. I'm not certain that she made it home. Way more to this story. This is probably the most high-profile criminal situation going on right now. And it is absolutely pathetic. This isn't about, KJ, the reason these people keep writing these stories, doing different angles and stuff, is to keep her name out there. Give me a break, y'all. Her name is out there. Her daughter's Savannah Guthrie. It's always going to be reported on by reputable news organizations. All these other stupid-ass people are coming in there and saying, well, this retired FBI agent thinks this, and this. Well, come on, y'all. Come on. Acting FBI agents ain't doing shit now. They need to get this wrapped up. They need to get some confidence. Y'all, I told you, she's dead. She is dead, but couldn't they at least bury her? Can they find her body and let her be buried? Let her have a sacred burial. She's dead. I'm just telling you. Looking for clicks, says Just Me. No one takes an 85-year-old woman out of her house. Someone got hired. Exactly. I guess we're going to find out because they're never going to find her body, right? They're not going to find her. This is going to go on forever. It's going to fade from the news. And then I guess at some point, Savannah or maybe her sister Annie and her husband there are going to say, well, she's dead. We need a death certificate so we can sell her house. She's got a will. Get the money. It's sad. It's sad, y'all. So, yeah, if we hear anything real, there is, if I don't want to do news articles of Nancy Guthrie because those are other people's ideas. If we have something we want to say, let's hear it. Put it in the comments. Sit it on the community wall under an unrelated post, and I promise you, I read every damn one of them. And I'll add all that together, and we'll get together and we'll talk about it. I think it was a kidnapping for ransom gone bad because she died within the first 24 hours and they did not have proof of life. So random people started asking for the ransom. It's a good theory. But I don't think it was ransom. Y'all know what I think. Y'all know I think it was her son-in-law. I'm sorry. And if I'm wrong and he's a victim, family member there, y'all can say, shame on you, KJ. They got to build a case. Denise Gray, I think, speaks for us all. She says, I pray for a miracle. Because that's what it's going to have to take, a miracle. Jason Stilwell says, real is just each person's perspective. Good point. Why would the son-in-law disappear her? They don't inherit if she's not found. A death certificate takes years. Well, I mean, how do you know that they don't inherit? Has it been reported on? And who reported on it? I mean, and I do agree with you when you say a death certificate takes years. But I don't know. I mean, they seem to do wonders for these high-profile people, these people that's got a lot of money and stuff. Seems like people that have stardom and stuff get, Savannah Guthrie, she's a Today Show lady. Maybe they can pull some strings and get the death certificate quicker. I know I'm sounding facetious. Jet Set JP says, although I do debunk my own theories. And that's a great point, Jet Set JP. Sometimes you start off with a theory, a hypothesis, and then you start gathering stuff research-wise and analyzing it to say whether or not, okay, let me either find more things that's going to back that up, that theory, or it debunks it. Oh, shoot. I found this. It doesn't jive. So I have to adjust my theory, my hypothesis a little bit. Some of the greatest things in the world started out as theory, y'all. I do, Canyon Jam. I just feel like it's an inside job. I just do. It's very rare for an elderly person to be kidnapped. Just Me says a kidnapper doesn't want people to know. They operate behind the scenes. Fancy Nancy says, Danny and I always say we're gathering the data. You and Danny are the Wonder Twins. Wonder Twin powers activate. Form of a tidal wave. Shape of a tiger. Y'all remember the Wonder Twins? One could turn into a form and one could turn into a shape. Y'all know what I'm talking about. My God, I mean, we're not that damn old. Kathy Barilla says, Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Well, if any of y'all are not wearing green, I'm going to pinch you. Just going to pinch you. My geology teacher said, everything is a theory. It's just some of those theories are accepted theory, i.e. fact. Geology teacher's got going on, saying. Fancy Nancy says, Kathy, I forgot to wear green. Well, I ain't wearing no green, so I'll just take a Ray pinch from all of y'all. How's that sound? Where's my green beer? I need some beer. Green beer. Or some green Kool-Aid with a shot of vodka. Give me some vodka and some green Kool-Aid. Oh, yeah. I'm the St. Patrick Day. We talking about it in every way. Oh, Donna says, we're having pistachio muffins that are greens. Well, there you go. Rub it in. Rub it in, Donna. Where's mine? Where's my muffin, Donna? Hi, Carrie Ann. Oh, Carrie Ann says, I forgot to send my boys to school with green. If they've got a dollar bill in their pocket, that can be included. Oh. Sam Willis says, I have a green wall behind me. Does that count? Well, it just depends, Sam Willow. Is your back against the wall? Ah. The Catholic church in town was selling corned beef and cabbage and Reubens for lunch today. I love Reubens, y'all. I mean, I know I'm in Tennessee and everything, but damn, I love the hell out of Reubens. They're good. Y'all are making me hungry now. Jet Set JP's got it covered, y'all. I've got green eyes. I guess I do too. Oh. All right, y'all. I'm going to get off here, but I am glad that we were able to Ray chat. We're going to continue to get justice through understanding, whatever that means to me, to you. Leave any comments on the community wall if something comes into your mind, or on this live stream once it's been put out and everything. I really appreciate all your ideas. Thank y'all so much for being here. We're going to continue. We're going to keep going. There might be some little pivots to things that ain't got shit to do with the crime genre community, but it's just a way to continue to hold together the community of Rays. Research, analysis, and y'all. It's strong. It's wonderful, and most of all, it's you, y'all. You. So with that being said, we'll get back together soon. I love you, love you, love you, and keep on looking.